Ukraine's eastern region of Donetsk is being shelled around the clock, with Moscow in its final stages of regrouping forces there. Meanwhile, the UK is urgently investigating claims of a chemical weapons attack on the southern city of Mariupol, where residents are being forced by Russia to stay in their cars. Joining us now with her reaction to the latest news is Ukrainian MP Inna Sovsin. Inna, welcome to the program. Thank you for being with us this morning.
Thank you for having me. Thanks.
Can we start with these reports of some sort of poisonous substance that's affecting people? What do you know about this?
So what we know is that, first of all, about 48 hours ago, one of the leaders of the so-called People's Republic, of Donetsk, which are, of course, the Russian puppets, announced that they are prepared to use some sort of what they call chemical troops in order to receive final control over Mariupol. That was their statement that was run on their local TV channels, but then also on the Russian TV channels. So that was the statement number one. That is the fact number one. Then about 24 hours ago, and we are here at 9 in the evening in Kiev, so that was about 9 in the evening last day, the day before, we heard the news that Ukrainian soldiers who have been keeping ground around a huge industrial area of a big plant over there in Mariupol, they reported that some sort of substance was spread around the territory of this whole industrial complex, and all of the people who have been there started feeling badly, and particularly the specifics was that they were having trouble breathing very strongly. 3 people are still in very critical condition. Everyone is alive. We cannot confirm what type of substance was that and whether that qualifies as a chemical weapon. And I want to be very responsible in saying that, because that is a very serious situation, and I don't want to. I don't want to say something that I cannot confirm for sure.
It's an important point to make, but also the point that the reason that this can't be confirmed, the reason that it can't be properly investigated yet, is because that area is still under heavy gunfire, heavy shelling, so it can't be at this point.
Yeah, of course. And you have to realize that the city of Mariupol, around the city, about 40-60 kilometers around the city, are controlled by the Russians. So we do not have access to that. There are no labs over there that are functioning. So we basically cannot get in there to collect any evidence. All we have is those statements by the people who are in there, who have claimed that they have trouble breathing. They have been in touch with some of the Ukrainian officials, explaining how exactly they're feeling, what sort of help they can receive in those conditions. But those are the facts that we know. And again, I don't want to say whether that was a chemical weapon or not. We just can say that was some sort of substance that did lead to people feeling badly.
Okay, and those things will be investigated, as you have already said, by the United Kingdom and obviously by other authorities as well. Some good news in the last few hours, Inna. This from the Ukrainian Deputy Prime Minister, who said that 3,000 people have managed to be evacuated from areas in the southern and eastern parts of Ukraine. That's some good news.
Well, it is. We also have to realize that this is, again, a very small number. Those are very heavily populated areas. There are still over 100,000 people in Mariupol itself, and they cannot get evacuated, or they get evacuated. That is always a danger, that once they're trying to get evacuated, they will be shot by the Russians. Unfortunately, that is happening. And then people trying to evacuate from other territories in this Donbas region. You have seen the attack on the rail station in Kramatorsk. That is where, at that station, at that point, 4,000 people were trying to run away from the Russians. And 52 people have been killed in that missile strike. What has been less reported in the media, but the day after that, they have also destroyed part of the railroads. So they're specifically targeting the infrastructure that is there, which people are using to run away from the Russians, to get evacuated. They're specifically doing that so that people will not get evacuated. Mm-hmm. And I believe they're doing that for 2 reasons. Reason number one is, of course, they're using the civilians as shields. They're using them as hostages. because after what we have seen in Bucha, in Irpin, in other areas where we regain control, just massive atrocities, and of course those are something that they continue doing. But the second reason is, of course, it's like once civilians are there, it's very difficult for Ukrainian army to act as heavily as they could have acted if there were no civilians, because the Ukrainian army is actually trying to save lives of civilians, so they're trying to keep as many civilians over there as possible while the battle of Donbass is getting ready to
which is absolutely awful. Ina, we're speaking to Ina Sovsin, who's a Ukrainian member of parliament. Ina, you've stayed in Kiev throughout this. We've got a photo here of you with a gun next to you. This is from your Facebook page, which you posted in February, at which time you said that your dad was signing up to the territorial defence, your friends were going to fight, and you would stay and you would fight if you had to. How is your dad? How are your friends? How are you coping?
Well, I'm all right. I'm happy I didn't have to use the gun. I'm happy that the Ukrainian army managed to stop the Russians on the outskirts of Kiev and push them away from Kiev region overall. My dad is fine. He has been helping the Ukrainian army that was stationed in the area where he was. That was his part of the job. I did hear some very sad stories from him about what was going on in Kiev region where he was located, and the number of Ukrainian casualties on our side. But he's all right now, and I'm most concerned about my boyfriend, who is with the army, and he's on the east. So I wake up and go to bed with heavy thoughts, and every time I text him, I'm just waiting for a response, him saying that he's alive, and that is something that I my everyday routine now, making sure that he's okay.